Good morning, guys. It's Wednesday morning, which means it's Real Estate Chat with me, Jennifer Ho. Hope you guys are all doing well. So, today we're going to talk about whether or not to have an agent. As you all know, the market has been it's been a seller's market for a while. So, I have met a couple of owners who decided to sell the properties themselves. They feel like, well, I don't really need an agent. It saves me money by selling it myself. And hey, Chuck, thanks for joining. We should come and be my guest soon when you're not busy. So anyway, I've met a couple of sellers recently, and it's interesting enough to hear what they had to say when I met up with them. I've had clients saying, I'm thinking of selling my house, but it seems that, one of my friends sold the house themselves. And then the other one said, yeah, I tried doing it myself. It did not work out. Or another seller basically said, I've had an agent. And the thing was, we felt that, they're really not doing what they're supposed to do. And interestingly enough, I basically asked them, do you actually know what your agent's supposed to do for you if you're putting your house on the market? Surprisingly, a lot of them don't know what the seller's agent's responsibilities are. All they thought was that listing agents, all they need to do is put it on the MLS and basically sit and not do anything and maybe market it and all those things. So it seems like a lot of majority of the sellers that I've met with, although don't forget, I'm not speaking for everyone, but some of the sellers that I've met, I think they hadn't done a transaction for a while. Hey, Bill, one of my favorite DE agents. So a lot of the agents basically, a lot of the clients that I've met basically doesn't really know hi Andy, thanks for joining. So they're really not aware on what a listing agent's responsibility are. So when they put their house on the market, they just like, okay, I love Bill. So they really don't know what to expect from a listing agent. And I remember months ago, early this year, I actually did, one of my blog was, you have to interview the agent before you pick one. And I even told you guys the questions you need to ask. So I think right now it's very important to homeowners out there who are thinking of selling. I wanted to tell you what our job is as a listing agent. And mind you, not all listing agents are created equal. One does more for what. So these are just the basics on what you could expect when you hire a listing agent. So we all know if the reason you want to get a listing agent is because the listing agent will do a thorough market analysis, which is what we call a CMA, to figure out or to let you know what your house is worth if you put your house on the market right now. I know everyone would say it's a seller's market. I could price it whatever I want. That's not really how it works. And this is why pricing your house right is extremely, extremely important, because as a seller, you could ask $5 million for your house. You could ask $1 million for your house. But if it's worth less than that, let's say $1 million, but it's only worth $800,000, and you think, why not try? Because it is a seller's market. This is why it's really going to be a very bad idea for you to overprice your house, is because most buyers right now still need to get a mortgage. And if you overprice your house, even if you do get that one buyer that's willing to pay that $1 million, if it does not get appraised, that buyer will not get his mortgage. So this is why our job as your agent is we need to tell you what the market is doing. We need to price it right, seller's market or not. We have to make sure that your property is priced the right way. Like, it has to be priced correctly. So that's one thing, which is very important thing that you need to have a listing agent for. The second one, okay, we are here to assist you prepare your property for sale. I have to say, yes, that's something that you could do on your own. anyone, you as a seller could just look around your house and, you know, pretend you're the buyer for your house and see what you think would be a problem if you buy that house. So that, I have to say, you don't need an agent to do that. But at the same time, for me with my clients, I do that for my clients, just because sometimes seller gets to be like, okay, I'm going to renovate the whole kitchen for the new buyer. I'm going to do this, do that. Sometimes what you think that you need to do for your house is not necessary. And you know, for me, I'd rather you just fix the minor things and basically price it accordingly than spending, let's say, $20,000 on redoing the kitchen, which turns out not to be, you know, what the buyers want. And then, you know, it's like you have to figure out if the money you're putting in, you're going to get it back. And that's where we come in. And then marketing your property effectively is one thing that we do. I'm sure I just went to a listing presentation and they said 2 days ago, and they said, yeah, all you companies do, you know, give us the same thing. So yes, a lot of companies do the same thing when it comes to marketing a property, but that is something that we do as compared to if you sell it and do it as for sale by owner. Yes, you could market it, but it's not going to be the same as if you do hire a professional. Like we will have a professional photographer do the photos. Like my listings, I always have a drone shots of the photos, like of the area. So that's the thing that we do for you as a listing agent. And then this, for me, the number 4 on the list for me is like screening potential buyers. I just spoke with a homeowner where she had her home, she did a for sale by owner 2 years ago. This was even before the market was, before the interest rates went up and everything. So they basically did a for sale by owner. And what happened was they were so excited that they had a couple of people interested buying it and everything. But guess what happened? So she accepted an offer. She took it off the market. All the other buyers went away. She didn't really, you know, I don't know what happened. But to make this, the buyer basically came up to her, I could pay this all cash, no contingency, no nothing. So she got so excited. 30 days later, the buyer actually couldn't afford it. The buyer really had no intention buying it. The buyer basically had 3 other homes that they were bidding on. Bottom line is they lost the deal. So our job as your agent, as a listing agent, is we do screen the buyers to make sure that they are that they are real buyers. They're not just people who just want to take a look at your house, or that's why you need us to screen the buyers. So another thing is that facilitating property showings. I know that is something that a lot of for sale by owners say, I could do that. I could show the house myself. That is true. As long as you have the time to show the property. If it's like, if it's a new listing and everything, you may have 10 showings a day. As long as you could handle that, that I could say you may not need an agent for that. So we could take that one out. And then the next one is we're actually here to negotiate on your behalf. The thing is, like, not only do you have to make sure that we price it right, negotiating the sale price for you is very important, because one thing you have to understand is the price is not the only thing on the table when you're negotiating. There's a lot more at hand. If there's something wrong, let's say it needs a new roof, something wrong comes up in the inspection, we are here to make sure we get the best possible price for your home. So that's why getting a realtor to work for you who is very good in negotiation is something to be, for you to look into. Now, the next one is basically, they said handle paperwork. That's easy. But managing, communicating with all parties involved, I have to say this is really extremely important, because as I said before in my past blog, is that an agent is not the only person you need, whether you're buying or selling a home. In a real estate transaction, you have an attorney, you have to deal with a lender, and then you have to deal with a buyer's agent, and then us, there's two lawyers, the buyer's attorney and the seller's attorney. Now our job is to make sure that everyone communicates with each other. I had a listing that sold in Danbury, and the thing is, like, my homeowner was from out of town, and I was their liaison to talk to everyone else. And the thing is, like, it's very important for you to have a really good listing agent, because if you have a deal that's in place, that deal can fall through if you don't have an agent that makes sure that everything is in place, the inspection went well, that you have talked to the buyer's agent to see if anything else came up. And you work, one of the things very important when you hire a listing agent, you have to make sure the listing agent has a very good relationship with other agents, because if any problem arises, it really helps that we know each other, because we are there to work what's best for each of our clients. For us, let's say if I'm representing the seller, I have to make sure I have the seller's best interest. The buyer's agent will make sure they have the buyer's best interest. So managing the communication with everyone, because I've had a situation where they never had the appraisal done, and we're almost going to close. And 3 weeks later, I was just like, hey, just want to let you know we haven't had the appraisal. Are you sure your buyer is still, I just want to make sure your buyer gets their mortgage, and you're kind of running out of time. So that's our job, to make sure that we talk to everyone to make sure that the deals go smoothly. And then another thing is, like, we're here to advise you as your agent on what needs to be done. I was just talking to a client a couple of days ago where she's thinking of listing her home, and she was told that a lot of buyers, basically a lot of sellers, are being told by agents or friends that, hey, you don't need to leave your home immediately. You could just rent it back from the buyers. It should not be a problem. And if you remember correctly, I had Jamie explaining to us a couple of weeks ago that rent back is not always a good thing to have when you're selling your home, because what happens is, as a buyer, if we say they have to close 60 days, they really do have to close in 60 days. And if you're renting it back from them and like beyond 60 days, what happens is, if the buyer is getting income or rent from you, it's now becomes an investment property. So there's a big risk that the buyer will not get their mortgage. So rent back is not necessarily a good thing, but there is a way to make it work. That's why you need a good agent to advise you what's good for you and what's not good for you. Because our job as an agent, again, is to make sure we're here to have your best interests at hand. And then the thing is that, so basically that's really what the whole thing is, why you need to use an agent if you're thinking of putting your house on the market. Yes, I know a lot of homeowners who have sold it directly have didn't have a problem doing so. But if you're a homeowner, you want the best possible price for you. Selling it yourself may not be a good idea, because, as I say, the best way to get the most money for your property is to market it to as many people as possible. And the way you could do that is hiring an agent and putting it on an MLS. And trust me, our job doesn't end there. There's a lot of things we do behind the scenes that sellers are not aware of. So if you're thinking of selling your house, definitely hire an agent, because we're here to make sure everything goes smoothly. We're here to do the comps for you. We're here to negotiate for you and facilitate the showing and making sure that the deal goes through without a hitch. And we're all here to, for your best interest. So if you're thinking of selling your house, or even if you're thinking of buying a house, please go hire an agent, because that way you make sure that your interest is always well protected, and that if you're selling your house, you get the best possible price for your home. And if you're buying a home, you have to make, our job is to make sure you get the best deal possible for your home. Again, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate your support. I was supposed to have a guest today, but something came up and she couldn't come. So to all of you, thank you. And if you have any other question, whether you're buying, selling, renting, it doesn't matter. You want an investment property, definitely give me a call. I've been in business 20 years. I am certified in commercial and investment real estate. So you could ask me anything you want real estate related. Again, this is Jennifer Ho. Thank you guys for everything. I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy your day. Bye.